Spontaneous speaking video 59. Alright, guys, so today I want to talk about a topic that is probably uncommon for ENFJs to speak on, but then again, maybe it's not. However, I wanted to speak on this topic because I personally dealt with this problem a lot, and I've seen other people deal with this problem too. And I think that maybe if I addressed it, who knows? The few of you who might watch, the many of you who might watch, will spread it to many other people, and maybe then this problem will stop eventually. But this problem is essentially being inauthentic or hollow with your flattery. And I guess one example could be actually, you know what? I'm not even going to use that person. But I'll just say that I am the type of person that I'm expressive, and I like to make people feel good. I remember in me and David's NFJ mail video, he made some type of comment like, "You get a compliment, you get a compliment, you get a compliment," or something like that, and pretty much saying like that's how I am, like an Oprah Winfrey with compliments and stuff like that, because I want people to feel good. And then he'd be that person to walk to one person and be like, "You know what, this is all of the list that I've thought about with you," and all of that. And I still to this day look back at that video. Even in that moment, you probably saw my face, or maybe I cut it out, but I was trying to like analyze and see the accuracy behind that. And I guess we won't really get into that, but one thing that I do know is that was right about what he said is that I am someone who likes to genuinely give compliments to people. Perhaps not in the way that he made it seem in that video, and probably not in the way that many people would think that, you know, an ENFJ would typically do that. Because one thing that I heavily value is my words being valuable. So for example, on my birthday, last year, when Jamila had thrown me this huge surprise party, pretty much a surprise dinner. It was great. You know, I had like 12 people, 12 of my closest friends from school, you know, sitting at the table and everything, and everybody was getting along. And I gave my thanks at the end, and I was telling them, like, you know, I appreciate you guys, yada, yada, yada. And the thing that I said was that the cool thing is I could literally go around the table, and I could have like written a card individually for each individual person. So the way that I would quote unquote gas them up or compliment them, anything along those lines, they would know that this was tailored specifically for them. And so I wouldn't personally see it as shallow. Like, even though I would be capable of probably giving out more compliments to more people than maybe like other people would, doesn't necessarily all of a sudden make it seem like, oh, well, then it doesn't mean anything, because all 12 of those people, they would know their value to me. And maybe there's a lot of other people who are unable to see that type of value, or they're not able to value that many people or to that extent at once, but I can. So that's something, like, you know, not everybody's the same. But one thing that I did want to like mention, that's kind of like where I'm like zooming in on right now. So spontaneous speaking good video, you guys are used to this. I'm going from this big concept and I'm like zooming in. I'm about to like land the plane. I am the type of person that if you cannot sing, in my opinion, I'm not going to tell you, "Oh, you did well." If you aren't attractive, in my opinion, I'm not going to tell you that you're attractive. If you don't dress well, in my opinion, I'm not going to tell you. You get the point? Like, there's some people, and I guess I am going to use this example. Like, I know someone who clearly did not like the way that a person was singing on stage one time. And they made it evident, you know, to the person's friends, his friends. And The person got off stage, walked by. Person didn't even ask for his opinion, but he was like, "Girl, you did so well," and yada yada yada. He's just throwing like these compliments and everything to her. It's like, that was a great job. And then after the person left, then Jamila had asked him, like, "Did you really think that she did well?" He was like, "Heck no." And I was just thinking to myself, why? Like, I could never see myself doing that. Because just like I just said, I am the type of person that I like to be authentic with the compliments that I give people. I like for my words to be valuable, because I would hate for anybody to compliment me, to tell me something that they don't actually genuinely believe that they're saying. Like, I'm not the type of person to just say that what the things that you want to hear, despite whatever stereotypes that you may hear about ENFJs. I'm not that type of person to just shower you with praise that you might want to hear for whatever reason. I could do that if I want to. I do have a keen awareness of what people would like to hear, but I choose to restrain from that. I choose to stick to the accuracy and truth of what I believe about that person. And that's why I choose to only present those perspectives or those compliments, things like that to that person. So all of this to say that, number one, compliments, even if given in what seems to be an excessive amount, does not always mean that it is cheap. It depends on how you give it. And however, to make sure that the compliment is even valuable in and of itself, you have to make sure that you actually believe the compliment that you're giving. And I think that's the problem that a lot of people may have. There's a lot of people who just, I see people do this all the time, and it bothers me, because it's like, no, now you're gonna have someone going out to try out for American Idol or whatever, The Voice, whatever is out there right now, because they said, oh, well, so and so said that I actually did a really great job. That doesn't mean that you have to go and tell them, like, honestly, you suck, you can't sing, or, oh, you definitely should not be in a beauty pageant, things along those lines. Don't do that. But there's a tactful way to tell someone when you believe that they're not up to par with something. There's ways to give constructive criticism. There's ways to actually, assist them in seeing the truth, but then not being too hurt by the way that you deliver the truth, if at all. If anything, the way that you deliver the truth should never cause pain. Instead, the truth itself should be the one that may cause the pain. But the way that you deliver it should be free. Like, it should be completely harmless. It should always be delivered in love. So that means don't oversaturate it with love to the point where they even mixed up the truth, because that's where I think that now you've over sugarcoated it. You've over diluted it. But there's no problem with sandwiching. And if you have a good comment and then a constructive comment and then another good comment right there to end it off, I think that's pretty good. I think that's a really good use of tact. Ironically, I gave a video about using tact and tone and everything. But yeah, this is just something that I've been really thinking about, because like I said at the beginning of the video, I am someone who I generally like making people's day. And once again, I said this in the NFJ male video with David. I like, telling people hey, I really like your hair, or, oh, you did really well that day, or, oh, stuff like that. I'll be honest, yeah, I do compliment, a lot of people I place, and this is for both male and female. It's not any flirt in a flirtatious manner or anything like that. It's just, I like to make people feel good about the truths that I believe about them. So just because you may see someone doing that does not mean that they're fake, or that they're not being genuine, or they're inauthentic, or like, oh, well, they say that to everybody. So that's not really the case. Now, how deep that I'll go with that compliment with you, that'll vary as to how well that I know you. And to be honest, that'll only be with like just so many people, because there's only so many people that I would say that I know on like a really, really deep level, because you never want to spread yourself too thin. But then when you're with your inner circle or your circle, then it's like, okay, yeah, I can definitely toss out compliments to you guys, and or a long paragraph or whatever, and specifically tailor it for you, because we've had enough experiences. We've gotten to know each other enough on a level where now I'm able to firmly grasp how you are as a person, the truths of who you are, and then present it to you in a way that's either constructive or in a way that's flattering. And flattery does not have to be hollow. In fact, I strongly urge that if you are someone who just tosses hollow flattery, please stop. Because that's like it makes those of us who actually toss out genuine compliments and flattery, it makes us look bad. But then also, like, it's kind of even annoying to the person who may be receiving it, because they may know that you don't really believe what that person's saying. Like, they may know that you really don't believe like what you're telling them, and then next thing you know, they'll hear it from somebody else who actually does believe it, but then they're just skeptical of everyone now. So you kind of like ruin that. So we could always go back to the phrase where it's like, if you don't have anything good to say, then don't say anything at all, which is the phrase that I usually go for. Sometimes when people ask for my opinion on stuff and everything, depending on what it is, I'll just avoid the question. And that's why direct answers have always been my enemy, because I refuse to lie. So if someone just asks me like straightforward, like, hey, Denzel, do you think that I'm pretty? Hey, Denzel, do you think that I'm a good singer? Hey, Denzel, do you think that I did well tonight? Usually on the spot, I can probably find a way to like finesse it, like, well, define well. You're like, oh yeah, maybe if they were acting and singing, it's like, yeah, you killed your part. Like, I really like the way that you demonstrated feeling when you were interacting with Carmelita, or whatever the case may be. And I would just avoid commenting on the singing. But if they like directly ask me, like, okay, what did you think about my singing and everything? Now it's like, okay, I'm not about to be like, oh yeah, you did well, or oh, I really like this song. Like, no, I'm be like, okay, well, since you're asking for my opinion, I'm not about to be like, you suck, this is bad, you need to just rearrange it. No, I'll just be like, well, to be totally honest, in my opinion, and I'm always going to make it clear that it's my opinion, I personally didn't prefer it, and this isn't to say that you are horrible, or this isn't to say that, like, altogether you should quit, or whatever the case may be, but I think that I would know what to say in the moment. But I hope that you guys are getting my point. That pretty much, I made several different points in here, and I probably should have really sat down and like organized them. But the main points that I was trying to go for is to avoid hollow flattery, to also avoid being just straightforward and cutting, like still try to use tact if you are giving constructive criticism, or just to avoid giving that criticism altogether. Avoid the question if you can, and not to always believe that people who may compliment, like more people than you do, are all fake, or ingenuine or inauthentic, because that's not true. I genuinely believe all of the things that I tell people, and if I tell you that I really appreciate you, then you can firmly believe that I really appreciate you. If I tell you that oh, I like your dress, or you performed very well, or whatever the case may be, then that is the truth, and you don't have to doubt that. If I don't mean it, then I will not say it. And I think that's what this all comes down to. That I'm just that type of person. If I don't mean it, then I will not say it, and you can trust that. If I'm telling you, if I'm saying it, then that means that it's completely honest, it's completely genuine, it's completely authentic, and I really do believe that as I'm saying it to you. And if you are someone who doesn't always believe what you're saying, then once again, just please try and avoid that, because you're making yourself look bad. You're spoiling it for all the other people. So yeah, that's just something that I've been like thinking about. For some reason, I had it all in my head, but it was kind of difficult to really actually explain and put in a concrete manner. But if you guys have any clarifications that you need, or things along those lines, definitely make sure to comment, and let me know what you think about that. If you need like any examples, or like you have examples that you like to present, you want what I would say about those things, then definitely go ahead and let me know. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now, and done.